Hello, friends and fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. I'm Jack, and as always, I'm here with Liam.
How's it going, guys?
And today we are doing a breakdown of the latest trailer that Supermassive have put out for The Devil in Me, which is, of course, the season 1 finale. So let's not waste any more time and get straight into it.
There we go.
Lonnet Entertainment.
Charles Lonnet, please.
Speaking.
My name is Grantham DeMette. I'm in a privileged position.
What do we know about this guy? He's rich, he's a recluse, he's obsessed with H.H. Holmes. Totally sane, I'm sure.
I'm just going to say this here. So, interestingly, I thought when this game was advertised and it was about H.H. Holmes, I thought we were going to go back in time and it was going to be like sort of in the past with H.H. Holmes. But it seems to be a present day game and it's about someone who's inspired by H.H. Holmes. So I don't know, did you think it would be kind of in the past as well, mate? Or did you really know it would be set in the present like now?
To be honest, initially I did think it would be set in the past, and I'd have quite liked it to have been set in the past, because when you think about the Dark Pictures games so far, they've all been pretty much in the present day. I know, obviously, House of Ashes was 2003.
Little Hope had a little bit of flashback, but it still was a modern game, wasn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So it would have been nice, but then I think when I heard the premise recently that it was about like a documentary film crew and that they were going to a replica of Murder Castle,
Yeah.
Right, it is going to be set in the present day. So, but all the same, like the big thing for me is that it's serial killer. There's Saw influences in there, so like I'm really down for this type of horror.
Yeah, like if it's executed right, this is definitely going to be your favourite one. Carry on. If it lets up. Then.
Some of the rooms are full recreations from the Murder Castle.
Guys, is that you?
There's a shit ton of killer footage to be had here.
My time is at a premium. We need to do this today.
What the f*** is this?
Oh my god. You're shooting me. Are you shooting any of this? No one is going to believe it without proof.
That as well. A lot of, I think obviously we're used to the Quarry, but we're seeing the recurring faces again, right? So we've got Bliss from Man of the Medan. We've got the bus driver. It will be a little sad in a way because I do miss having that fresh cast pumped in. I know I'll be a bit disappointed when I see the same faces again. But at the same time, on the other half, it's kind of nice to revisit them again, you know? Like, I have missed the Dark Pictures anthology a little bit. I know we made that recent video about how this game could flop in light of how big the Quarry was and how successful it is, you know. But yeah, Jack, what do you make of like the same faces coming back? Are you like a bit kind of mad about it?
I suppose so, yeah. Like, I don't know, is it ideal? No, because you would like that fresh cast, but I do appreciate that they do try to mix it up a little bit. Like, it's not as if they've put, at least what it seems, the exact same faces. Like, they've tried to change the model up in slight ways just to make it a little bit different from what it has been previous. But
yeah,
you know, I think at this point I'm just like, let's roll with it.
Of course. Right, let's crack on.
Wait, no! What the hell?
Someone, please!
What happened?
What the f***? What is this?
It's a fucking booby trap.
This is a point I'd like to raise here, and this is just a quick early theory on my part. So we've already seen a lot of mannequins in this trailer already, and I just have a feeling that there's going to be a situation where you're playing as a character and maybe there's a mannequin that can move, that it's maybe like the face is obscured like you've just seen here, so you can see a body moving, but we've already seen that this killer is very adept with like technology and robotics to sort of make inanimate objects be able to move in a very sort of human and sophisticated way. So I'm just going to go out there and say that there's maybe a point in the game where maybe you've got to choose whether to go in and like presumably save some like maybe random person, maybe a non-playable character, but you go into that room and then you find out, maybe you pull that, you know, the thing that's over their head, and you find out it's a mannequin, and then that could cost you, like maybe you could die from that. I think that would be a pretty cool idea, and it would actually revisit something we said in a previous video, mate, where like sometimes going in to save someone isn't the right thing to do.
Yeah, true. Another thing I'd like to mention as well is that we're looking at a lot of the traps. So there's sliding walls, there's self-locking doors, there's this trap contraption, which, like you mentioned, looks very Saw-like. It's very similar to like the barbed wire cage in one of the Saw movies. And I'm wondering if there's like a pattern to beat the serial killer here. Because, for example, you look at Man of Medan and you can kind of get by maybe not picking up weapons because of the hallucinogenics that are going on. House of Ashes, it's like stick to the light, avoid the dark kind of thing. I'm wondering if there's a pattern here to beat the serial killer. And I'm wondering if there's a way, you know, like we can kind of figure out his motives. And I'm also kind of thinking like, yeah, the motives of the serial killer as well. Are these 5 people you're going to play as pre-targeted? Have we done something to wrong this killer? Or is he just a straight up serial killer who wants 5 victims, you know, 5 kills? But yeah, it's dead intriguing though, you know, like this is a very different trailer from the rest, a very different theme. But yeah, brilliant. Ready to crack on, mate?
Yeah, go for it.
I've told you what I have.
Another little theory from myself. So there was a little shot at the end there where it looked like potentially it was someone in like a life support machine. It did make me think of Saw again. Like anyone that's seen the Saw franchise will know about Jigsaw. You know, the killer, he's not got long to live, and you know, he was almost trying to teach all of these people certain lessons about life and how neglectful that they can be of their own or of others. So another potential early theory, and there's actually a couple of things in here that add up. So at the start of the trailer he says that my time is at a premium and it has to be done today. So perhaps our killer is on death's door, like in the Saw films, and you know, that's why all of these characters are dragged in here, because they've got to, you know, he's got to get one last killing spree out of him before he dies. I don't know, what do you think on that, mate?
Yeah, it's a very good theory actually, like very sort of literal and on the nose with the Saw theme, but hell, I'd be all for it, a Saw game. And with that in mind, I reckon I'm going to play the game very sort of suspicious of the main 5 cast. I'm going to be playing as them thinking, you know what, I'm going to try and make you survive here, but I'm also in the back of my mind, like, have you accidentally killed someone? Or have you enabled a kill or, you know, a murder, just whatever. So, yeah, maybe the 5 characters we play as have hidden secrets, a bit like we get in the Saw films. So I'm going to bear that in mind.
I like that.
Please don't waste my time.
So another little thing from me, and this comes back to what you were saying earlier on about the release date, mate. So I did a bit of digging on H.H. Holmes earlier on, right? And if you go on the wiki page, you'll see that the day he got apprehended for his crimes was November 17th, 1894. So I suppose this would be amazing for me, right? Because that's my birthday.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but also as well, like, because they're so, obviously we're so used to them coming out in October, right, for like Halloween and stuff. But I've seen from like other videos and other comments that October is apparently very congested, and that might not be a great time to bring out this game. Obviously, they have covered themselves by that big window by saying autumn 2022. Perhaps a November release date isn't out of the question here, and maybe how similar to The Quarry, how they released the trailer on a full moon to tie into the werewolf thing. Maybe they'll release The Devil in Me on a day when H.H. Holmes got apprehended. And of course, that would be a brilliant birthday present for me as well, to play The Devil in Me. So early theory, guys, November 17th release.
I was going to mention, like, yeah, The Quarry did it on a moon. So, like, we do, on a full moon even. So we do know this wouldn't be very uncharacteristic of Supermassive Games. So, yeah, your theory there is very viable. Of course, yeah. Yeah, really good bit of digging there, mate.
Am I sending the car or not?
So we saw a guy wielding a knife there. I wonder if there's going to be the kind of thing where one of the 5 is in on it. How cool would it be if one of the 5 is the killer?
Oh God, I would absolutely love that. The thing is, I mean, I know I've said to you privately, haven't I? Like, I would love them to do a Heavy Rain sort of thing.
Yeah.
Sorry for anyone that hasn't played Heavy Rain, but spoiler alert, one of the characters you play as is the killer, and what you think you're doing as the right thing when you're playing as them is actually like the killer's secret agenda. I think they're like trying to gather evidence so that they can destroy it, and have maybe one of these characters in league with Grantham Dumais, who, by the way, who knows, like we did see in the first trailer for this game that whoever the killer was, they're good at sort of like using like the sort of the voice recorders, right? So for all we know, that this voice that we're hearing down the phone could just be some like random voice. It might not necessarily be killer's voice.
I also want to say, like, Jessie Buckley is going to be the actor of this game. Now, she's an actress I'm not really familiar with. The Quarry, when I did a bit of digging and looking at what they were in, I could notice at least a decent 80% of them. It was the same for, say, Sean Ashworth in Man of Medan, and A Little Hope with, I forget, Matey Boy's face, William Poulter. I didn't really know Ashley Tisdale that well, because I think Disney was a big thing for her, and I'm not really a Disney person. But yeah, I don't really know Jessie Buckley, but I believe she's won awards. So I'm really excited to see what she brings to the table. So yeah, it should just be good to see, you know, how her performance shines, you know, amongst the other actors that we've seen in the DPA games so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we can see on this screen here, mate, about pre-ordering. I mean, are you going to pre-order it? Are you going to buy the collector's editions, like after you bought The Quarry for Deluxe Edition? What's your thinking on that front?
So realistically, I would say no, I wouldn't. My enthusiasm for the game probably isn't as much as it could be, so I would try and go for the standard. However, mate, it sounds like something that could go to a poll, I'm thinking, like the same way we did for The Quarry.
Yeah. No, that's a good shout, mate. That's a good shout.
Yeah, brilliant. One other comment I did have. Now, we've recently been very, you know, I mean, I say we, it's yourself has been quite active on Twitter as of late. One of our latest allies and fans, Casey, pointed out in one of these chat rooms he kindly invited us to, that this game is actually going to be a little bit more expensive than previous DPA games. Apparently, they usually sold around like the $30 mark. This game is actually apparently going to be around $40. Now, that's, you know, kind of a bit closer to like the Quarry and Until Dawn dimension of prices we're talking. Now, I'm kind of wondering, why is this, Jack? I'm thinking, is the game going to be even lengthier? I don't know how long the older games usually are, but I'm thinking, like, is there something a little bit special with this game? Are we going to get more length? So yeah, I'm really excited to see how this game differs. Maybe it's in quality, maybe it's in, you know, length. So yeah, like, I don't know, do you have any kind of guesses as to why that might be, mate? Why this game might be the most expensive DPA we've had yet?
I'll get the boring answer out the way first, which is inflation. I know, boo. But I do hope that it is the fact that maybe it's the season 1 finale. I know that another game's probably not going to come out for a little while because maybe they're still polishing up because of all the various delays and things. they've bumped up the price. It could be, that it's longer. And you know what? Think about this particular game in general. It's a hotel, it's a serial killer, and there's people in there. Makes me wonder how non-linear will this game be? Could it? Because I think with Man of Medan, it actually had quite sophisticated branching narratives towards the middle section of the game, even towards the end as well. Little Hope was linear, and House of Ashes was fairly linear as well. Maybe not as linear as Little Hope, but it makes me think, is there enough in this plot for there to be enough branching narratives when it's to do with like a killer killing people off in various rooms? So
yeah, I should hope so. Yeah, I really should hope so, because we saw like the character who was once Spliss get stuck behind a sliding wall, and I like to think this comes from consequence of you making a choice to go and inspect a room. So I'd like to see various paths where, some characters get locked in different rooms, others don't. Certain people survive, others don't, and it really becomes like an end game of it depends who went where. Almost a bit like Cluedo style. I know that is a lot to ask, and we are talking about the DPA games. We have to remember this isn't going to be a full-blown project like The Quarry and Until Dawn. But that's why we're here, right? We're optimists. We're here to pump up the game, get excited about it. So of course I'm going to sit here and fantasize a little bit about how broad this game could be, and hopefully that does justify the extra $10 we might end up paying for this game. So yeah, whether that price thing is true or not, it was obviously thrown at us. It could be like in a different region, or that could be a curator's cut. I'm unsure, but I do believe that this price will be a little higher. But yeah, mate, I'm all out of points, to be honest, unless you had any more.
Yeah, one final thing from me. So yeah, obviously you talked about that length of the game. I'm pretty sure that the House of Ashes was perhaps the longest, maybe like 5 hours, 5.5 hours tops. Maybe the other two were sort of like 4.5. So obviously, if we are talking that this game's longer, it's probably going to be like 6 hours or so. And to honestly come back to the plot and branching narratives and things, what I would absolutely love, because what I've noticed with the DPA game so far, they really do like to split into sort of like 2 groups, maybe 3 groups. I would love, especially in this game, for all of the characters to get split up. Maybe all of them get put into their own room, so that on the one hand, you're not, pacing issues don't become a concern, because you're not constantly sticking around with certain characters for too long. So you're sort of cutting between characters each in their own. I think maybe that fast pace could really heighten the tension of the game, and perhaps potentially make the player choose wrong decisions. I don't know. I think that dynamic would really work for this particular game.
Yeah, of course. And I wonder if it's going to be completely random. Like, do you just go in room A or B, and B could kill you, A does not? And it's kind of like just like, one of those things where maybe it's one of those games that you can't beat yourself up because the choices are really 50-50. I also just wanted to say, we're looking at the current shot now, and the curator's in the top right corner. One of the criticisms we had of the House of Ashes is the lack of the curator in it. Obviously, he plays a big part in Man of Medan because he's introducing himself. He's kind of there in Little Hope as well. House of Ashes, we had a little theory that he's potentially the man at the diner who, is there with Eric and Rachel. I'd like to see more curator, and I know we're at the middle part of DPA where possibly it's filler, and we're waiting for the final punch in the later episodes where we possibly will see him involved, because I think he will be. But I'm also just hoping that we don't get another House of Ashes scenario where he just really is just a background character who's just there to pass you to the next chapter. I'd like to personally see a little more from him, and it would be beautiful to see him in The Devil in Me. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
No, agreed. And you know what? It would be a great way to finish season 1 if they could just sprinkle a little bit more as to why the curator is relevant in these games, if he's relevant. I mean, we're all saying that he's got some, subplot for all these games, and I do think that there is. But of course, we could be projecting that, and he could literally just be there to be a host and guide us through these games. I don't know, but it would be good for that. And of course, as well, I know you were saying about he probably will be back, and I'm inclined to agree. It would be a massive twist if, like, somehow the curator was killed or offed or somehow in this game, so that we knew that going into season 2 we was going to have a new host. I don't know, like, I suppose of all of the games so far, this is the one where we're going in the dark a little bit more, because we do know that there is some sense of wrapping up in a way. So,
Of course.
yeah, we'll just have to see.
Brilliant. So, yeah, guys, let us know. Are you excited for The Devil in Me? Are there any points that you noticed in the trailer that you reckon, that you'd like to bring forward that we didn't really highlight? Let us know what your expectations and predictions are for this game. Have we hit the nail on the head at all? Are we way off? Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts and comments, guys. I've been Liam. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and one last thing, guys, if you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy one of our latest videos as well, where we predict on how Series 2 of the Dark Pictures anthology will kick off, that being with Intercession and the Mothman. So if that intrigues you, check the link in the description. Thank you for joining, and we will see you in the next one. Ciao.
Thank you very much, guys. See you in a bit.